Today I've got the Olight Seeker 4 Pro. This is an update to the Seeker 3 Pro, to the Seeker 2, to the Seeker. There are lots of videos comparing this to the Seeker 3 Pro, so I'm not going to do a head-to-head direct side-by-side comparison. Olight has also published some beam shots comparing the two, so while I will show the beam shots of this and I will speak of some of the differences and improvements, I'm not going to do a head-to-head comparison of the two. But I'm going to talk about the Seeker 4 Pro. And like any other Olight, this one has a ton of tech packed into it. Just the holster itself, which I'll come back to, has tech in it, which is hard to believe. Tech just in a holster, but indeed it does. The Seeker 4 Pro retails for $139.99, but if you are lucky, get it on one of their flash sales where you can usually get it bundled with something and save a bunch of money. If you don't get a chance to get on a flash sale, I will put my discount code below. You can use that for 10% off any non-sale item, so definitely take advantage of that. The size on this, you can see, is just a little bit bigger than hand size, and it does not come with a pocket clip, which is kind of a bummer. So really the only good way to carry it is to put it in this holster that I'll talk about. Before I talk about that, let's get some of the general specs of this light out of the way. Puts out up to 4,600 lumens, and they say it will throw that 283 yards, 853 feet. Comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour rechargeable 21700 battery. It comes in either cool or neutral light options, Ipx8 rated like everything else, and up in the front there it has a TIR lens. Things that this comes with, it comes with the holster as I mentioned, which I will get back to. It comes with the charging cable. We'll talk about charging in a bit. This is a USB-A to USB-C cable. There are a couple charging options. Aside from the holster has an interesting way that you can also mount this somewhere else, which I'll talk about. So it comes with this sort of mounting holster. And then there's the box, which I always love the Olight packaging. And the Olight packaging, aside from, I love that it has the picture on the front that shows the exact size and dimensions of the light. Their packaging is just so well done because you open it, it's kind of like Apple packaging where you open it and everything just fits perfectly in there. You open it, the light would be here. There's a little pull tab to pull this out. And this piece fits right down here. There's some accessories in here. The bottom piece, which also has a little pull tab, pulls out. There's some more accessories in here. And thank you, down at the bottom there. So their packaging is extremely well done. You're probably going to throw this in the closet, but nonetheless, I do appreciate the thought that goes into this stuff. Let's have a look at the construction of this. So up in the front, like I mentioned, there are 4 LEDs with TIR lens, and you can see it's not an overly deep reflector. So this beam is going to be, well, they claim to throw 283 yards. It's kind of a broad flutter, so it's not focused. Kind of a broad, floody beam. Lights up a good area, which I think is very useful for most lights. Moving down from that, there's a heat sink. Moving down from that is the dial, the mode control. And on the side of that are LEDs that indicate charging indication. And when you turn it on the other side, indicate the brightness. On the side here is the grip. It's a rubber silicone grip. And on the back here is the tail cap. The tail cap has several ways of charging. You can use their magnetic regular charger, their MCC3 charger, or you can put it in the holster and charge it separately that way. And I'll show you that in a minute. Opening it up, on the inside is an Olight 5,000 milliamp hour 21700 rechargeable battery. Goes in there. And O-rings for that IPX8 water rating. Now let's talk about the holster. The holster you can of course use to carry the light, and it fits very snugly in there. You can mount it on your belt. This holds up to a 2-inch belt. My only complaint is if you're wearing a typical 1.5 inch belt, there is some play right here, so when you take this out, you either need to hold the bottom of it or just let it pull up to the top of your belt with the clip there. Also the holster, the way it is, this way you mount it vertically on your belt, but they do have a accessory holster that you can buy that clips onto your belt that you can then clip this on horizontally. So if you want to carry it get sideways or vertical, there are different options for that. Also, if you want to mount this somewhere, you want to mount this on a wall or in your car or somewhere else, they include this accessory holster. The accessory holster has a couple ways for mounting. There is some 3M double-sided tape on the back, or you can see those holes there, and they include some mounting screws if you wanted to drill this into a wall, because you then take this, you stick it somewhere, you clip the holster into it, and you now have the light mounted somewhere. that you can just take it and grab it out. You stick it in the car, stick it on a wall, stick it next to your bed, stick it in the garage, in the cabinet, wherever. You can mount that there, either double-sided tape or more permanently with those screws. Now, like I mentioned, the holster has some tech in it. You can charge this light in a couple ways. You can charge it with the magnetic charger, or you can see there is a USB port right here, and you can plug a USB cable right into that charger, and it will charge, because at the bottom of the charger, you can see there are some rings in there, which correspond to the large rings on the bottom of the light. Also, the charger, when you have the light full on the brightest mode, which is 4600 lumens, when you put it into the charger, it automatically dims down to 600 lumens. That way, if it's kind of up at you on your waist, you're not being blinded with 4600 lumens in your face. So that's nice there. And at 600 lumens, it really doesn't get warm. So neat feature there. Also, when you use the light, when you turn it off, after the light has been off for 10 seconds, it will go into lockout. And lockout, all you do to unlock it is you just turn the dial a little bit, and then the light will come back on. However, when you put it into the holster, it automatically locks out. So you can't turn it on. You can still, if you hold it down or you rotate it, you can turn it on. But in the holster itself, because it goes into lockout mode, when you put it in there, you can't accidentally bump it on. And also, when you take it out of the holster, it is automatically taken out of that lockout mode. So a crazy amount of tech, again, not shocking for Olight, but just in the holster itself, what would normally be a holster, this holster does a whole lot in conjunction with the smartness of the flashlight. So really neat idea there. I do wish that they included a pocket clip, because some people are not holster people. And while this holster is very nice and this light is a little bit sizable, you may not want to carry it in your pocket like this if there was a pocket clip that came with it. So the holster is probably going to be the way to do it, or you throw it in the bag or in your car, or you mount it. Again, plenty of options. So the holster itself is amazing itself. So there's that. Now the functioning of this light, like I said, after you've had it off for 10 seconds, it goes into lockout mode. To get it out of lockout mode, you just rotate it 90 degrees and it will come on. Or if you just hold it down, it will come on. And it is stepless brightness all the way up to that 4600 lumens. A lot of lights, to get it to the turbo brightness, you have to do a bunch of clicks. This one, you can just simply rotate it up to that full brightness. Also, if you don't want to use the dial for that, you can click it on and you can hold it down and it will ramp through low, medium, high, and then from the high, double click to turbo, and then triple click into strobe. You can long press and come on at a moonlight of 5 lumens. Run times I'll throw on the screen. With a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, this moonlight mode will go for 15 days. 60 hours on low, 11 hours on high at 300 lumens. The brighter brightnesses do ramp down. Both the high and the turbo will ramp down after a bit, but there's only so long you're going to need 4600 lumens for. 2.5 minutes is what you get. And then it will ramp down to 1200 lumens. Still plenty bright. Now the beam pattern on this, like I mentioned, it is kind of a floody thrower. They say it will throw up to 283 yards. It really is going to depend on the type of weather you have. If you are out in the mist, like I was recording this, it is going to not throw quite that far. And because it's got a little bit of a flood to it, it's not a big thrower, but still 4600 lumens, you're going to get a good amount of distance from it. Realistically, are you going to be able to see stuff at almost 300 yards with this? Probably not, but again, just depends on your environmental conditions. Some brief differences between this and the Seeker 3 Pro. This one has a larger rotary dial. It's a little easier to manage that. The silicone grip on this one is one piece that goes all the way around, whereas on the Seeker 3, it was just on each side. This one is 4600 lumens versus 4200 lumens. Are you going to see that? Probably not a whole lot. This one is calculated to throw 10 meters farther. Also not something you're going to be able to tell. And this one, aside from using just the magnetic charger, also has the options for the Type-C, USB Type-C with the techie holster. Overall, another amazing light from Olight. I am always amazed at the stuff that they pack into their lights. The stuff that I would just not think of, like a holster that does all these amazing things. Couple ways to charge it. If you like your magnetic chargers, that's great. The Olight chargers I love how easy they are to use. But if you are a Type-C person, it comes with the USB-C cable if you don't have 50 of them, and you can stick it in the holster and charge it. Again, plenty of options. So super bright, really nice, throwy, floody light from Olight. Check out this one, the Olight Seeker 4 Pro.